Boom. I'm Erwin. We're going to talk about Weapons. So, Weapons is directed by Zach Kreger. He has done Barbarian, which I personally love. This movie is about when all but one child from the same class mysteriously vanish on the same night at exactly the same time, 2:17, which makes sense because the amount of times I saw different show times of 2:17 p.m. I was like, why is it at that exact time? That did not make sense whatsoever to me. But then, of course, after watching this movie, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Clever, very clever marketing. I love when things just market so well. But the community is left questioning who or what is behind their disappearance. I didn't know if this movie was based on a true story or not. I just know that the concept itself was already a hook. It already grabbed people's attention. The fact anytime you just mess with children, I think it just grabs people's attention right away. Especially for me, because I was like, you always got to protect the kids. Always, always. But overall, what I think about this movie, I thought it was great. I thought this movie had a great balance of horror and comedy, very similar to how Barbarian was too. And a lot of it stemmed from it was driven by just a lot of character pieces and just focusing on like different point of views and like how each character drove the story itself. And I love that aspect because a lot of times movies will have the story be driven through the movie itself, but with this one, having it have different perspectives from each character and how each character will basically run into each other throughout the story was also such a unique way of how to tell a story, especially with this story being unfolding too. That was wonderful. And seeing like Julia Garner more and more often, I'm definitely gotta check out Ozark because I hear that show is amazing and she's in it. But overall, she's done such a great job in just like a lot of movies that no. Here you go, Julia Garner. Let's see. What have you been up to? What have you been up to, Julia? Miss Garner. Just says Fantastic Four, Wolfman. I did see Wolfman. That was okay. She could do better. But yeah, I mean, overall, she played the Silver Surfer, Shala Ba, in Fantastic Four, First Steps. But yeah, she did a great job on that one. And then Josh Brolin, I love a good Josh Brolin movie. Anytime he's in something, I'm already hooked. His voice, amazing. I would probably say No Country for Old Men is probably one of my favorite things he's been in. Oh my god, of course. I know he's Thanos. Dune. Can't get enough of Dune. Dune and your mom. Ah, crap. Why did I say that? Dune. Was he in Sicario? No freaking way. Was he in Sicario? He was in Sicario, wasn't he? Don't tell me. Okay, he wasn't. Thank God. No, he was. Yes! I knew it. Oh, I knew it. I'm a genius. I also love Sicario. But this movie, overall, Weapons, fantastic. It's something that I definitely recommend people watching in theaters. And I don't know. I think a lot of times movies like this, people have a strong. They struggle to understand that a lot of times when it comes to horror, it also has a semblance of comedy just because they both have that same, like, there's like a punchline. And a lot of times it's just like the setup and how each setup can either work with you or doesn't. And it's just like how you set up a joke, how you set up a scare. And a lot of times it blends in the same way. And I think they did a great job because a lot of times seeing movies like these, they tend to be funny, and I can also see why they also make a bunch of freaking scary movies, parodies of other horror movies as well. Having all that being done, and I can see people's frustrations too with this movie, just because the marketing saying the scariest movie, the best movie, but it's also being rated great too, like the best horror movie of this year, which I mean, I get it. I get why it was the best horror movie. I enjoyed it a lot. That was also I can see why a lot of people would be upset by it and having their expectations really high, and then going in and it's like, why did I laugh too much? This wasn't scary. But overall, I thought it was a great movie. The kids did a fantastic job, especially the kid actor Alex. I didn't realize he was gonna have such like a prominent role in this movie too. So seeing that was amazing. I love when I see a kid's acting in a movie and they actually perform pretty great. Most of the time they're not the best, but this time it was another great casting choice. Also, the marketing too of not showcasing who was behind the disappearance of the kids, great. I love that. And not knowing that aspect was definitely something hands down one of my favorite aspects of it. Also, I love not really knowing the intention or the reasoning why this witch um wanted to take kids. Like, you can assume, and that's what I love a lot of times when it comes to movies like this, where the director basically gives us, the audience, to use our imagination, and we just fill in the pieces of what the director would want us to think that's happening. And through that, love it. Love that. So with not knowing anything about the witch as well, definitely at least gave to me a better, like a more sense of like fear too, just because like I don't know what the capabilities are of this witch too, and like knowing these little subtle details, like the little bell having the 6 and how it's supposed to represent the devil's number, and just seeing a lot of things, like seeing the like I think just seeing the tree in the room as well. It kind of reminded me like the fountain of youth as well, and her not knowing what illness she has, and like she's just dying as well. And I love that aspect too. And I don't know, one of my friends sent this to me, and I thought I didn't realize this, that Archer's son Matthew, so Archer as in Josh Brolin's character, it goes missing at 217. All the kids go missing at 217. But in the Bible, Matthew 2:17 describes the fulfillment of a massacre of children, the slaughter of the innocents. And I thought that was such a really cool little detail that they put in there too. I don't know, it's stuff like that where when you look back at movies of this, like you can just find little snippets of what you can pull from either religious aspects, from other movies that that the director has either made or was part of. Like seeing Justin Long again, that was funny. He's always funny. I love seeing him in movies as well. But overall, I definitely say it's a movie worth seeing in theaters just because of the theater experience alone, and seeing like other people's reactions to it, because some people are really into this movie. When I went to go see this movie in theaters, a lot of people were just really like interactive with it, especially during times where there was a lot of jump scares, and times where it's just pretty funny, like seeing all those kids chase the witch at the end. I thought it was like it didn't seem, it was not scary whatsoever, but it was so entertaining and funny just watching all these kids jump through glass, jump through doors, going like, my God, these kids don't feel anything whatsoever, and they're just going, which it was just amazing to see. It was just too good. I definitely see this as one of those movies where I was like, okay, this is definitely going to be in my top movies of the end of the year. So overall, I really enjoyed it, guys. I definitely recommend seeing it in theaters. Weapons. I don't know what's happening this week, what movie I'm watching next. Keep in touch, keep in tune, and I'll see you guys next time.